Good morning. I've just come from Inoro FM. Had an amazing show with the lovely Nyokafi, Wakata, and Jeff Kurian. And we had quite a candid conversation about many things, including my relationship with Gashagua, working experience, how I got in, how I got out. So if you've been asking those questions, please look for that link and see what I said, whether you agree with it or not. But what for me stood out is a conversation about where we are going as a region, Mount Kenya region. And when it's actually Jeff Kuria who asked me, what is my thought? What should we be doing? And I said, we need to go back behind the tent as a region. You know, everybody is saying we should unite. And everybody argues that it's important for Mount Kenya to unite for its political interest. I agree, 100%. My only problem is that when you listen to Gachagua, Gachagua wants us to unite for his political interests, for his, so that he can consolidate power and he can take us as a basket to somebody else, because he's not running, and that I think we can all agree. And my problem is that Gachagua has already done this before. He put us in a basket, took us to Ruto. That didn't work. He wants to remove us in a basket and take us to somebody else. Now, this is in his interest to do, and it's okay for him to try and do it. But it's a bit foolish for those of us who can see what he's doing to accept for him to do it to us. And that's why I keep having and challenging him for the things he's doing. For example, he keeps insisting we should be in one party. Fair point. Then he insists that we should be in his party. Brand new party, no track record. While we have a party like Jubilee that has a track record that goes to close to 10 years, a party like PNU that goes for over 10 years, track record. A party that like DP, close to 20 years, track record. We have parties like Mother's Party that has over 10 years track record. He doesn't want us to go into those parties. He wants us to go to his party, which is brand new, has no track record. And that's why I say he's been selfish, because yes, you could have a point that we should all join in one party, but why should it be yours? You know, the minute you make it your party that you want us to be in, and this is something he insisted as recently as yesterday during the burial of JM Karaoke's wife, where he's insisting that his party is the only party for the region. All other parties belong to the government. All other parties in this message, I assume, means my party Jubilee, Mother's Party PLP, JB's party DP, Munya's party PNU, Dhuo Madenge's party TND. I mean, so for him, it's not that we should be united. It's that we should be united under him. It's not that we should be in one party, that we should be in one party under him. And this I will have a problem with for as long as I live, for sure. Because you can't herd us into a party that you lead. Then you don't want to be held accountable by anybody. You are not answerable to anybody. You think you're the boss. You think you're the regional kingpin. There's a problem there. But I don't want to complain about that. I want us to talk about seeing in numbers. I know as Mount Kenya we believe and we know we are the largest political bloc, and that is true. And I want us to use the numbers for 2022. 3.5 million votes from Mount Kenya went to Ruto. 1.1 million votes from Mount Kenya went to Raila. That's 4.4 million votes. 5 years later, let's assume we have had an increment in our votes, specifically by 10%, right? So we now have approximately 5 million votes. Total number of votes in 2022 election were approximately 15 million votes, right? So let's also assume that goes up by 10%. So now they're 16.5, or even call it 16 million votes. So Mount Kenya has 5 million votes. The whole country, totally including Mount Kenya, has 16 million votes. Gachagua doesn't seem to have any interest on the votes of any other part of the country except Mount Kenya. And then he believes that Kalonzo should go and consolidate the ones for Eastern, Matiang'i should do Kisii, Eugene and Natambea should do Western, then they should all come around the table. And then he insists he wants 50% of the government, so these other guys are supposed to share the other 50. I don't see them agreeing, by the way. That I don't see right up front. In fact, somebody who is a supporter of Kalonzo told me that even if Gachagua was to help Kalonzo become president, one of the first things that he sees Kalonzo doing is removing Gashagua. And you'd have to most probably go to Ruto, who would also have members of parliament, at least 50, to go and remove him. So we have 5 million votes, assumingly, using for purposes of an argument, going into 2027. The rest of the country has 11 million votes. Unless our narrative and our political conversation includes everybody in it, these 11 million people, 11 million Kenyans can vote away from how we are voting. Meaning we can vote all our votes, mobilize ourselves in totality, and still not have more than 30% effect on the national election. Right? And this is something we need to think about very seriously. Ruto was in Samburu. I've seen him in Western. I've seen him in Northeastern. I have seen him at the coast. He's talking to the rest of Kenya. He's talking to the 11 million votes. Yesterday in Samburu, he talked about the way there's somebody who wants 50% of government, right? Of course, everybody in Samburu knows who wants 50% of government. It's Gashagua. And by Gashagua, they assume it is us as Mount Kenya region. This is the stupidity of where Gashagua has put us. The rest of the country imagines we are so selfish. 5 million of us out of 16 million want 50% of the government. Gashagua has no shame saying that publicly. He has no shame asking for Mount Kenya interest publicly. Everybody pulls the blanket on their side, but you don't shout from the mountain about it. No, this turn is pulling for their side. Coast is pulling for themselves. Western is pulling for themselves. Rift Valley is pulling for themselves. Nairobi as well. Right? Eastern. But nobody is shouting from the mountaintop except Gachagua. He's making us look bad, and he can very easily make us 5 million votes get isolated. People can wake up and say, you know what, nyi pelekeni kura zenyu kule mnataka, si tutapeleka zetu huku. And the worst part is that the people who represent the 11 million votes are not insulting each other. They are competing, they're challenging each other, they're not calling each other names. Us, Gachagua wants to intoxicate us, indoctrinate us, radicalize us, so that we are calling other leaders names. So when he wakes up and says all the parties except DCP belong to government, he's not only fighting Mount Kenya parties, he's fighting all other parties. You know? And this is something we need to think about Adwanyubaitu. Seriously. Our numbers are important, but our numbers are approximately 30%, 25%. We are not enough. We can't even remove Ruto by ourselves. Right? We can't negotiate by ourselves with Ruto, Kalonzo, or Eugene. At the rate we are going, Gachagua is going to use us to put somebody into office, and then that person is going to negotiate with the rest of Kenyans, just like happened in 2022. I personally believe Gachagua should go home. He's already tried to negotiate for us and proven to us he doesn't know how to do it. Maybe we leave it with Uhuru to do, or somebody else, but not Gachagua. He can't. He's got so much hatred and so much bitterness, he can't see beyond himself, which is why he's insisting, yes, we should be in one party, but his. Yes, we should have one conversation, but he should determine it. Yes, we should be under one leader, but him. Guys, it's not possible. And that's part of my problem with Gachagua.